We live in a world of constant change, but maybe some things are better left unaltered. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We live in a world of constant change, but maybe some things are better left unaltered, like the food we eat. That's certainly the opinion of these protesters who, for the second time this year, are sounding the alarm over the use of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, in our food. Today's rally on Algoma Street gathered more than 50 concerned citizens. They say roughly 85% of the food found in our grocery stores now contains GMOs. Such foods have been banned in many countries, but here in Canada, as well as the United States, food labels don't even have to mention the presence of genetically modified organisms. Protester Rebecca Aris wants the public to be privy to more in-depth information.
It's very important for a child as well as all of us to eat healthy, and we can't do that if they're putting contaminants into our food, making it in a lab, when there hasn't been any long-term studies to see what the effects of that would be.
That was one of just countless GMO rallies being held in Canada and around the world today. Protesters in more than 50 countries are speaking out against genetically modified seeds, as well as the chemicals used to cultivate them. And as Arthi Pohl tells us, the cries are all aimed at one corporation.
GMOs got to go!
Across the country today, thousands of Canadians marched against Monsanto, one of the leading producers of genetically modified seed in the world.
Say no, Monsanto!
It's part of a worldwide protest held in more than 50 countries. At Toronto's rally, former Health Canada employee, now a whistleblower, Shiv Chopra.
Health Canada was lying.
He says the pesticides that go into cultivating genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, are toxic and harmful, and that Health Canada isn't assessing the safety risks.
Any product must be proven to be safe in advance of sale, in advance of distribution, and in advance of giving it away for free. Health Canada has never received any such results from any company.
CBC News asked Health Canada about its testing procedures, but so far we haven't received a response. On its website, the agency says it requires GM food manufacturers to submit data for a safety assessment. In response to today's protest, Monsanto released a statement saying they respect the right of people to express their opinions, but the company says we believe we can make a contribution to improving agriculture by helping farmers produce more from their land while conserving scarce natural resources. 14-year-old Rachel Parent has been in the spotlight on this issue. Her debate on GMOs on CBC television was watched 2 million times online. She believes at the very least there should be appropriate labeling on all GMO products.
That way people have the freedom of choice, and that way they can choose for themselves.
And Parent will take that message to government representatives who she plans to meet with in the coming months. Arthi Pol, CBC News, Toronto.
As Fire Prevention Week draws to a close, local firefighters are busy promoting the importance of fire safety in advance of the holiday season. Thunder Bay firefighters were stationed outside Home Depot today, stressing the importance of fire prevention to passers-by. The leading cause of fatal fires is careless smoking, according to firefighter Paul Abernethy. But he notes cooking actually contributes to more fires overall. That's why on Thanksgiving weekend, it's so important to keep a few fire prevention tips in mind.
Fire Prevention Week's always the same week, and it is good that it comes on Thanksgiving weekend. It's a good time to get the message out about cooking, safe cooking, not leaving cooking unattended, and making sure that you have working smoke alarms on every level of your home.
Abernethy also encourages all residents to replace smoke alarm batteries each and every year to ensure they remain in proper working order. To national news again now, a powerful mix of color and culture in downtown Winnipeg today as hundreds of First Nations people use traditional dance to send a message to the world. Manitoba is the latest stop on a Canadian fact-finding mission by the UN's Special Rapporteur on Indigenous Rights. James Anaya's trip comes at politically sensitive time when the rise of the Idle No More movement is driving a push for greater Aboriginal rights. Katie Nicholson has the story.
2 years ago, Shannon Bear lost a cousin to suicide. This traditional Anishinaabe jingle dress helped her heal her grief.
I really had to dance every weekend just to pull myself out of a really, really dark place.
She's since taken the jingle dress dance to First Nations communities across Manitoba, hoping to inspire and empower others.
When I dance, I feel something in my brain, in my body. It's a really, really big rush.
Today, she's not dancing for herself, but for a nation and for the United Nations. Bear and hundreds of others gathered at historic Portage in Maine to welcome this man, the UN's Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Indigenous People, James Anaya. 10 years ago, the UN sent another representative to assess the state of First Nations people in Canada. The result was a scathing report documenting poverty, abuse, and discrimination. Anaya says much has changed, but not enough.
What I'm seeing is that some of the issues that he identified are issues that that are still being raised to me.
Still, Anaya is confident Canada will listen to what he has to say.
Canada is, as a country that is a democratic one with democratic institutions, is well poised to address the challenges that it faces with regard to Aboriginal peoples. And you can't say that for every country in the world.
Less confident in Canada's willingness to change, Manitoba Grand Chief Derek Nepenak.
The status quo means more people without housing, more people without safe drinking water, more of our young people giving up way too early.
But not today, where hope and celebration held sway.
The jingle dress is going to heal the relationships and the gap between, Canada and Indigenous people in society.
For those gathered here, it's a small step in a positive direction. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It's a festival that's been around for more than 200 years, and while its roots trace back to Germany, Oktoberfest has now spread across the globe. Originally a celebration of a royal marriage, the festival has morphed into a celebration of beer. And the Lake of the Woods Brewing Company in Kenora has marked the occasion with their very own Oktoberfest brew. Nate Jones reports.
It's a time for food, lederhosen, and of course beer. In Munich, Germany, the 16-day festival ends on the 6th of October. But here in Ontario, the festivities can go on till the end of the month. In Kenora, at the Lake of the Woods Brewing Company, the release of their Oktoberfest lager is tipping the hat to the tradition. Brewmaster Bernard Wayland is fortunate to have modern equipment to complete his latest batch of brew.
Traditionally brewed in March, way back before refrigeration, they'd cool the kegs and finish the fermentation inside the keg, inside a cave, keep it cool for the whole summer, and break it out in September for Oktoberfest.
And thankfully, fermentation is no longer done in a barrel, in a cave.
Still there.
The process remains relatively the same, but these days a computer tracks the progression of the process. For quality control, Wayland says beer tasting is an important part of the job, but wouldn't you get tired of all that beer drinking?
No, never happened.
With Kenor's year-round population sitting at about 15,000, it can be difficult keeping a brew pub open. But thanks to the success of microbrews such as Oktoberfest Lager, the business maintains some sustainability.
Much in the traditional Bavarian style, so more malty than hoppy with a little bit of a sweet finish to it, but still on the dry side. It's been extremely well received.
As the winter months approach and the tourist season ends, the Lake of the Woods Brewing Company will continue to experiment with its microbrews, and perhaps we'll see a different Oktoberfest brew next year. Nate Jones, TBT News.
Well, 75 years is a long time. Even some historic buildings haven't been around that long, which is the reason that the wedding anniversary of one local couple is truly something to celebrate. Giovanna and Constantino Costanzo are celebrating their 75th wedding anniversary this weekend with family and friends. Giovanna was 15 and Constantino 18 when the pair were married in Italy way back in 1938. They moved to Thunder Bay in the late 1950s. They still keep many of the old traditions. They make their own bread and wine. They also still maintain their own garden. The couple attributes their long life together to a few simple things. They just stay in love and be happy, they say. Granddaughter Nina Moro translates for the couple who only speak Italian.
They said that they loved each other very much. They have two beautiful daughters and a loving family, and that's all that they could have ever asked for. And with the help of God's grace, that's kept them together for all these years.
The Constantinos say they're very happy that their one wish came true. They got to celebrate their big day with their family. Well, Thanksgiving is traditionally a time to gather with family and friends and take stock of all the good things in one's life. But is there really as much of that going on these days? Does the holiday mean as much as it used to? We put that question to local residents this week. Here now is our TB News Watch question of the day.
Thanksgiving to me has the same meaning. I mean, it's great to get together with family and friends. For some younger people, maybe not. It's just another extra day off. Myself, right at this moment, is getting ready to go to White River to spend family with my Thanksgiving.
Celebrate the fact that we live in Canada and that God loves us and we should love Him.
Well, for me, Thanksgiving is all about family and friends and getting together and saying thank you for being part of my life, and that's about it.
I think so. I think in most families it does. Yeah, I really do.
Be with one's family. So I'm going to my son's for Thanksgiving dinner.
I think so. People are always going to want to have to be with their family and their friends. Like, it's an important part of life, and it's also an important part of this time together. Like, you're spending it with everyone, so why not?
Well, and I'm happy to spend this Thanksgiving weekend with Matt Scooby. Matt, what do you think? Does it still hold the same tradition and values that it used to?
I think it does. I think it does for a lot of people. It does. Lots of Thanksgiving turkey. Turkey, it's the best part of this.
No, it is great.
Looking forward to that. Lots of sports coming up after the break.
Well, Thunderwolves OUA opener last night. Great game for Thunderwolves fans. Matt, you want me to just take this throw, considering it's my report you're going to cut to him?
Yeah, let's cut to me. Come on, Ned, here we go. Goodness, yes, I've mentioned this before. Stealing the thunder, but what happens in the preseason doesn't always dictate what will take place in the regular season. Now, the NHL exhibition season was a little bit nuts, but on the local scene, the Lakehead Thunderwolves hockey team was outscored 18-3 in their 3 preseason games. Obviously not the start new head coach Bill McDonald was looking for, but hey, they didn't count. Now, the Wolves opened their regular season this weekend at the Gardens against RMC, as Ryan so kindly just mentioned. A place the Paladins they've never won before, and surprise, surprise, LU got the offense going in Game 1 last night. Here's Bonazzo with your highlights.
With Jeff Bosch ailing, the Wolves turned to rookie Justin McDonald in goal. New coach Bill McDonald no doubt wanting to see some improved play in front of the freshman after an 0-3 preseason. And in the first, his team only too happy to oblige. Just over 6 minutes in, Lakehead on the power play. First-year blue liner Nathan Briere with a booming one-timer. NCAA transfer Kellen Ainsworth working down low buries his first as a Thunderwolf. Speaking of firsts, Keith Grondin finds former SIJHL standout Matt Carella alone in front. He beats Paul Dorsey blocker side. It's Carella's first in a Lakehead uniform. The Wolves threw 21 shots at Dorsey in the opening 20 minutes, lead 2-0 after the break. Just a minute and a half into the middle frame, LU picks up right where they left off. Once again, it's Ainsworth making things happen as he fires a shot on Dorsey, who gets a piece, but Mike Hammond is there to pick up the trash. You know he'll get his goals this season. It's 3-0. But RMC refuses to roll over. They counter with a goal of their own. D-man Riley McIntosh can't clear away the pass in front, and Kyle Phillips beats McDonald along the ice. It's 3-1. Less than 2 minutes later, the Paladins strike again. This time it's Eric Louis Siez from an impossible angle off McDonald and in. That's one the rookie would love to have back. And RMC, who's never won at the Fort William Gardens, cuts the deficit to a single. But the Paladins had no answer for the line of Matt Carella, Keith Grondin, and Ryan McGill on this night. Still in the second, McGill wins the battle in the corner and finds Carella. He's got his second of the evening. And in the third, the former Thunder Bay North Star completes the hat trick. Cody Alcock had the initial shot. Carella finishes it off. An impressive OUA debut for a few new Thunderwolves. They take down the Paladins by a score of 5-2. Ryan Bonazzo, TBT Sports.
On the diamond, Carlos Beltran is making an early case for the National League Championship Series MVP. Now, granted, it was only Game 1 last night, but Beltran threw out Mark Ellis at the plate in the 10th inning and then drove in the winning run with a walk-off single in the bottom of the 13th to give St. Louis a 3-2 win. Now, not to mention the Cards right fielder tied the game in the second inning with a 2-run double. So St. Louis took a 1-0 series lead in the best of 7 after a 4-hour and 47-minute marathon last night. And just 16 hours later, the teams are right back out on the field for Game 2. A great pitching matchup in this one. Probable NL Cy Young Award winner Clayton Kershaw going up against the 22-year-old Michael Wacha, who's been outstanding over his last few starts. Top one, Wacha gets Adrian Gonzalez chasing. Then he strikes out Yasiel Puig to end the inning. He was dialed in early, and with a name like that, you know, how couldn't you be in the home half? After giving up a leadoff triple, Kershaw pulls the string on Matt Holliday. Then he gets Yadier Molina to ground out to end the inning. He escapes a jam. Little anything you can do, I can do better. In the fourth, Wacha gets Puig for the second time in the game after giving up a single in the first inning. He retired the next 12 batters he faced. Yeah, pitching duel for sure. Bottom 5 after David Freese led off the inning with a double. Kershaw and A.J. Ellis get their signals crossed, so Freese advances to third on the pass ball. That's important because 2 batters later, John Jay lifts a fly ball to left. Carl Crawford is there to make the catch, but his throw is nowhere near close to getting Freese. Cardinals take a 1-0 lead on the sac fly. Top 6, Wacha in a jam. Dodgers load the bases with 1 out, but after striking out Puig for the third time, he gets Juan Uribe swinging to end the inning. He went 6 2/3, gave up 5 hits and struck out 8, and the Cardinals have just won 1-0 the final. They take a 2-0 series lead. On the ice, Jonathan Bernier will make his 3rd straight start tonight when the Maple Leafs host the Edmonton Oilers at the Air Canada Centre. It's the first time in the netminder's career that he started 3 games in a row. Now you can catch that game on CKPR Thunder Bay at 7 o'clock. Elsewhere, Ryan's Montreal Canadiens visit the Vancouver Canucks, and Ottawa is also on the West Coast. They'll face the sizzling San Jose Sharks. Also some afternoon action. Yeah, Bruins and Blue Jackets pick it up 1-0 Columbus in the second period. Chris Kelly wires it past Sergei Bobrovsky, Kelly's second of the season. This one was tied at 1 after 40. Early third, the shoot-in attempt goes right to Patrice Bergeron. He feeds it cross ice for Louis Eriksson, who gets just enough on it to beat Bobrovsky. Eriksson's first as a Bruin gives the Bees a 2-1 lead. Now 2 minutes left to play in the game. Artem Anisimov on the rush finds Marian Gaborik, but Tuukka Rask is there to turn him aside. He made 26 saves, and the Bruins would add an empty netter to take it 3-1 the final. How about some CFL action? Eskimos Rough Riders, second quarter, 3-0 Edmonton. Darian Durant to Weston Dressler. That's a 20-yard touchdown pass, and then Dressler does the Saskatchewan version of the Lambeau Leap up into the stands. They were up 7-3. Riders' next drive, it's Corey Sheets. Takes the handoff. He's going to punch it in from 5 yards out. Gives Saskatchewan a 14-3 lead. It's now 14-9 Saskatchewan in the third quarter. On the court, the Lakehead women's volleyball team finished up their exhibition season on a high note. The Wolves swept the Brock Badgers in 3 straight sets at the McMaster Invitational today. LU finishes the tournament with a 2-1 record. They'll open their regular season next weekend at the Fieldhouse against Windsor, also on the hard court. Oh, but the basketball-wise, yes, the basketball version, there's tons of hype surrounding Canadian Andrew Wiggins. When you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated without playing a game in college, yeah, there might just be a little attention on you.
He has yet to play a game in the NBA or even college for that matter, but the hype machine surrounding Toronto's Andrew Wiggins is in full gear.
Andrew Wiggins brings the house down. He has crazy skills. A lot of people in the neighborhood know him. They used to play ball with him and everything like that.
The buzz isn't limited to the GTA. This week, Wiggins basketball.
His jumper still needs refinement, and there are some questions about his motor, but sounds like he will come out after 1 year unless something catastrophic happens, and he'll probably go number 1.
That would make it 2 straight years that a Torontonian gets picked first overall after Anthony Bennett was taken by the Cleveland Cavaliers this summer. Raptor fans would love nothing more than seeing Wiggins wearing the red and black.
I think it would bring more butts to the seats. First of all, a lot of people would want to see a hometown boy play and do well.
In order for the Raptors to land Andrew Wiggins, they will have to finish at or near the bottom of the standings this season, increasing their odds of winning the NBA draft lottery. Some fans will tell you it's worth the risk.
Yeah, it's a smarter way, because what's the point of winning or trying to get to the top if your team is still going to suck overall next year?
The Raptors are not considered to be a championship contender, but don't expect them to tank on purpose in order to increase their odds at landing Wiggins.
Fans are going to talk about tanking. That's their prerogative. I'm not even thinking, that hasn't even crossed my mind. It's not even been discussed in our organization and won't be discussed.
The biggest danger in losing on purpose, creating a losing culture.
I've been here long enough, and we had losing seasons, and so me personally, I'm tired of that, so that's not an option.
But that may mean losing out on Wiggins.
Also, one more note for you. Detroit-Boston, game 1 of the ALCS tonight as well, so big night for sports.
Yeah, I can't find myself rooting for the Red Sox, though. I mean, they play in the same division as the Jays. And
always tough to do.
Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping for Detroit anyway. We'll get your weather details coming up right after the break. Stay with us. Well, despite some ominous-looking clouds earlier today, turned into a pretty good afternoon, actually.
It's a beautiful
really nice
day.
temperatures. Yeah, we got up to 19 today, well above our seasonal highs.
I have to apologize for calling for rain on Thursday. That was the forecast. It said rain today and tomorrow.
Well,
but,
if it's going to bring temperatures like this, then call away for rain all day long.
Touche.
Let's take a look at some of the conditions across the country. That's not where we're supposed to be. We're 7 in St. George, 12 in Vancouver as we move into Alberta. 11 degrees in Edmonton, 7 in Calgary, 10 degrees in Saskatoon and Regina as we make our way east, 8 in Winnipeg at this hour. Churchill, 3 degrees under some rainy skies there. Heading into southern Ontario, Sault Ste. Marie, 20. Very nice temperatures there. In Toronto as well, 18, 21 in the Ottawa-Montreal area. A little cooler as we move into Quebec City at 11 degrees. Same story in Fredericton. Halifax just flirting with double digits there at 10 degrees. Charlottetown, 6, and just 2 in St. John's at this hour. Tonight, we're going to see lows falling into the low single digits throughout much of northwestern Ontario. You see a lot of 2s, 3s across the board. Tomorrow, things improving quite a bit to right about seasonal for this time of year, right around that 10-degree mark in Armstrong. For a little warmer in Fort Francis, Atikokan, and Greenstone, Marathon. Big Trout Lake, just 4 though, so quite a bit cooler there. Currently in Thunder Bay at this hour, we are at 16 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Winds rolling out of the south-southwest at 24 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 38 kilometers per hour, dropping down to a low of 6 degrees tonight. A few clouds in the area with wind gusts. That wind is going to be hanging around, gusting up to 45 kilometers per hour. As we take a look at the 5-day forecast, partly cloudy tomorrow. There is a chance we could see a little bit of rain, about a 40% chance. Monday, looking at partly cloudy skies, 13 degrees. Some showers rolling in on Tuesday, just 9 degrees for the high there. A little nicer on Wednesday, 11 degrees and 9 on Thursday. So those above seasonal temperatures that we've been seeing going to come crashing back down to earth over the next few days.
But it's still a nice end to the Thanksgiving weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, and really not too bad. I mean, getting into October, you expect to see those temperatures plummet a little bit, and as long as we don't see those freezing mark, hesitate
Snow,
to even say
I was going to say the bad word.
Say that?
Oh, sorry.
That's a 4-letter word. Anyway, that'll do it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Have yourselves a great weekend.